now we have the Battle of Pennsylvania. We have the Steelers versus my Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia being favored by 5 points and the over-under being 43.5. Steelers are coming off a win against the Browns, and they have won 4 of the last 5 games. Wilson has been great since he's been great since he's been implemented as the quarterback. 1,784 yards passing with 12 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. And Najee Harris, he's looked great. I was ragging on him, saying how terrible he looked and how he's not a really good starting running back in this league. Well, you know what? Najee Harris has 877 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns and 249 yards receiving yards. So the guy's over 1,000 yards in total yards, so not too terrible. Their defense is ranked 7th. We all know they have a great defense. They have a great rush defense as well. So, there's nothing left to be said there. They have a great defense. But one thing to keep in mind, this is a big thing to me for this matchup. They will be without Pickens. They say Pickens are questionable, but after seeing Tomlin's press conference, it doesn't seem like he's going to play this game. So, who do they have in their weapons besides Pickens? Really think about it. The wide receivers are mediocre to not good after Pickens, and Pickens stretched the field for them. They have their tight end in Fairmouth. He has over 400 yards receiving. He's like better than average. But who do they have? It's just the running back Harris. That's it. So keep that in mind if you want to bet the Pittsburgh Steelers plus the 5 points. I know Mike Tomlin is the underdog king, but he's playing against the number 1 ranked defense in the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL. So, keep an eye on that. Pickens being out really hinders this team from scoring points. So with that, they have a great rush defense, like they said, but the Eagles, they played against the best rush defense in the Baltimore Ravens, and Barkley ran all over the Ravens. They leaned on him. They kept on rushing the ball against the Ravens. And what happened in the fourth quarter? The seal broke and Barkley took off, and he hit monstrous numbers against the Ravens in that game rushing. So I know that the Steelers have a great rush defense, like I said, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles lean on him, and then boom, it breaks again, and Barkley rushes for over 100 yards, 120 yards, in my opinion. They have no weapons without Pickens, like I said, but they're 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games. The Steelers have covered the spread in each of their last 6 road games against NFC opponents, so that's good if you're a Steelers bettor. But let's talk about the Eagles, my Philadelphia Eagles. They're coming off a close win against the Panthers. I know it's the Carolina Panthers. Everybody wants to mention it, but the Carolina Panthers, they've been playing everybody tough, and they've covered 5 spreads in the last 5 games. So the Panthers are actually playing everybody hard. They took the Kansas City only beat them by 3 points. Okay, so the Panthers are playing well. The Eagles are on a 9-game winning streak, the number 1 rushing attack, the number 1 ranked defense, and they're second against the passing. They're the second best passing defense. And they get their starting safety back, Blankenship, who I believe leads our whole team in turnovers. So they get him back for this game, so this is going to be really great. The statistic that does it all for me is this one right here. Now, a lot of people say, well, the Steelers stopped the Ravens from them going off in their rushing game. My counter for that is that was a divisional game, and division teams always play each other tough. So I think the Pittsburgh, they always play the Ravens really well. So I'm not putting a lot of stock in that. But listen to this statistic. I think this says a lot. The Eagles have outrushed 11 of its last 12 opponents, okay? And teams that outrush their opponents this season are covering at a 66% clip. That is a great number if you like to bet on games, okay? So with that, I know the Eagles are going to outrush the Steelers, okay? Here is Harris as running back. He's having a decent season. Here's Barkley, okay? It's not even close. Barkley's an MVP candidate, the number 2 in odds right now, and Harris is not in the same stratosphere. So, like I said, teams that outrush their opponents this season are converting 66% against the spread. So with that, give me the Eagles to cover the 5 points. I think Barkley rushes over 100 yards. I think all this bullshit controversy between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, which now it looks like it was a nothing burger. I think they're going to use that for fuel, and I think AJ Brown's going to get a touchdown in this game. And George Pickens being out for the Steelers is big because outside of him, they don't really have any weapons. Who are you afraid? The Eagles have the second best passing defense. Who are you afraid of when Pickens is gone? Nobody, okay? I believe Russell Wilson's probably going to use a lot of his legs in this game to keep plays alive. But I think the Eagles outrush the Steelers, and I like that statistic I just said, so give me the Eagles to cover the 5 points.